Hi, Seth. How are you? Hi, Kershell. Hi, guys. Aw, thanks, Seth. I appreciate that. I feel like it's been forever since I've connected with you. We need to play chess again and I get my butt whooped. Kershell, what's going on with you? You still on the grind? Love and honor. You are Miami through and through, Seth. I swear. That's what's up. Alright, so I'm trying to go live on my Facebook as well. It's not letting me switch over. So give me a second. They keep changing stuff. Oh, I didn't know you were a writer, Kershell. What are you writing about? Working. So you're writing about working, or you're probably just saying that you are working? Let me see if I can make that. See if I can make that brighter. Yeah, it's better. Yeah, but you just said that you're writing. Are you working on any writing projects? Working. Okay, not writing, working. Maybe there was something there though. Don't knock it. You never know. I for sure did not see myself as a writer. Yeah, but you never know. Like, I literally started writing because I was a blogger. I had no idea it would turn into all this. All right, so, okay. You gotta specify, because you just never know. And writing is such an easy thing to do that you wouldn't think, because all you need is your thoughts and an audience and a platform. So you would never think that it could be something sustaining. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. This is my Word of the Day Wednesdays. As you guys know, I have been going live Wednesday evenings at 6 for the last year, which is nuts. I think it'll be a year in September. And I normally piggyback off of my latest blog. So my name is Nicole D. Miller, and I'm the author of Stories for the Urban Soul, which I normally have a copy of, but because I was rushing, I don't have a copy right now. But you can view it on my website, NicoleDMiller.com. So let's get started. So my latest blog, very vulnerable and transparent. If you've read it, a lot of my pieces are, but some of them are more transparent and vulnerable than others. So this particular blog post, I talk about recounting an experience of seeing this little beautiful brown girl with all of this thick curly hair, and I was just like chilling at the beach. So it kind of caught me off guard, and it caught me off guard because I'm just not a kid person. Like, I'm cool with kids and I love my friends' kids, but I'm not like, oh, babies, da-da-da. Like, and part of that is my lifestyle. I'm kicking it, y'all. Y'all know, y'all follow me on social media, y'all know I'm kicking it. So, you know, kids slow you down. In my view, there's a lot of energy that you have to put towards them, and in this season I'm putting it towards my work and so many other things. But when I saw this little girl, it definitely tugged on my heartstrings in a way that I had to pay attention to, because it was rare. It was just like, I kind of have been putting the whole kid thing on the shelf, right? So I'm almost 40, my birthday is in April, sorry, these bugs, and just kind of putting the kid thing on the shelf, you know, laying that down. And so, but I had to be honest about my feelings and recognize that I still had this desire, but I just, you know, tucked it away, left it alone like I always do. So the interesting thing about it is I connected with a woman the next day who I'd recently become acquainted with. She's another author getting it. Her name is Shantae Thomas, if you guys want to check her out. So we were on our hustle, going to this Indie Author Expo, road tripping it, and she was able to share with me her story of having kids later, having kids in her 40s. And I've heard people, you know, talk about this, and I just never never moved me, because that was them. That wasn't a story that I necessarily wanted. But I think I needed to hear it from someone that I was becoming personally acquainted with, like more intimate with. And it was like hope, you know, it was like hope and encouragement of just recognizing that we all have a different story. And I try to talk about those things in my blog. And I talk about having a different story in different ways and not comparing. But I think we can really default to society's story and this cookie cutter idea of what is the American dream or what is success, especially if you're academic overachiever type A personality. So what I got out of that conversation was reminding me that I have a unique story, and I have to lean in to the author of my faith. I have to lean in to the one who created me and created my story. And it is like after 20 years of walking with God, still in that space of fear to trust, still dealing with sorry guys, these bugs are tearing me up. So still dealing with that place of, you know, he's faithful, you know, you have these testimonies, you know, you have this experience, but you can't see what's before you. And I talk about that in the blog, of just kind of like looking forward into this bleak, dark future that it's like, as an author, I'm going to relate it to being an author myself, right? So you as the reader, you don't know what's next because you're just turning pages. But the author already knows. And I talk about that in the blog, how the author has already created this ending, and all of these events that are happening in the chapters before the end chapter are leading up to it. And it's only till we as the reader get to the end that we see, and it all makes sense that the author had a plan and a purpose, and it wasn't crazy, and all of these random things happening in these earlier chapters had a purpose. So all of that is in the blog. And NicoleDMiller.com. Definitely, if you're not subscribed already, go over there and subscribe. It will say subscribe to our newsletter, and you'll get my weekly blogs and monthly newsletter. So hopefully you'll be encouraged by that. In other news, last night we had our second Mic'd Up event, you guys. It was so good. So good, so good. If you don't know, we are doing these series of open mics featuring writers, lyrical curators, poets, singers. If you have an artistic expression, share it, a comedian, all the things, but specifically pulling on authors, because we don't really have a lot or anything like this. I've never seen anything like this where we have authors do readings. So last night I actually did a reading. I read from a short story called Miss Jessie's Daughters. I think it's Mama Jessie's Daughters, or Mama Jessie's Girls. I'm messing up the title, but I submitted it to an online platform, so it's going to be featured soon. So keep an eye out for that, because y'all know I'm going to post about it. But it was really, really good, really well received. And it was just cool because the people who came to our event and have been coming to our events, I feel like we're being entrusted with people's first. So sometimes people have never been to an open mic, which blows me away, because I just thought that was a normal cultural thing. I didn't know that people could possibly not go to an open mic. That just seems so normal to me. But there are people out here, and like whole authors. I remember talking to a guy during the last Mic'd Up. He had never been to an open mic, and then last night a woman and her son came, and she had never been, and her son had been, but they didn't even know our event was happening. They went next door, because we're right by another place that does open mics, and they thought there was going to be one there, and it wasn't happening yet, so they directed them to us, thankfully. So long story short, they had an amazing time. Everybody really enjoyed themselves. But what I love is that we're creating these safe spaces in our city for people to release, be vulnerable, tell very transparent stories. When you're an artist and you're sharing your gift, it's not always easy, and it's coming from a place of your heart and self, right? So it can be very intimate, very vulnerable. So we're creating that safe space in Cleveland. So be on the lookout for our next event. It's going to be September 27th. I believe it's from 6 to 9 at Jukebox in Tremont. So we'll be posting about that. You can keep abreast of my social media. That's probably the best way. But being subscribed to my newsletter and email list is probably even better, because social media is hit or miss with the algorithms. You don't always see people's stuff. So subscribe to my stuff. You'll be in the know for all my events and things. So I think that's all I have for you guys. We have a lot coming up. So no, Saturday, I will be at the Black Business Vendor Expo. I'll be speaking at noon if you're in the area, and I'll be speaking on self-publishing, helping people get their manuscripts and book ideas into actual book products. So that's happening at the Holiday Inn off Rockside at Independence, and come through at noon to hear me speak. It's from 11 to 5. I know, I'm so busy, Seth. I'm so busy. It's crazy. But it's a good busy. It's like purpose busy, right? So you're not just doing randomness and expending yourself and energy. You're building something that's going to outlast you. And you're building a legacy, and you're building community. That's something that I'm realizing with the open mics, which I actually was working on my blog about that. That'll be released next week, is that building community is so vital to our purpose. All of us were put on this planet for a unique purpose, but ultimately it was to create that community. So I get more into that in the next blog. But the point is, I will be there Saturday. And then there's a slew of things happening next month, the Incubator Writing Conference. So if you know anyone who's a writer, they are doing that at Lit Cleveland. That's happening, and it's free. I love how Lit Cleveland gives all of these free resources. I am all about the free resources. And so that is happening. And then there's Glossy, which is the Great Lakes African American Writers Conference. That's happening September 17th. And I actually am going to take a trip to New York. Oh, Kershell, that sucks. She said she's not in Ohio anymore. I'm going to take a trip to New York right before the Glossy conference, and that is to tidy up some of my details with the novel. So you guys know I'm working on the novel. It's pretty much done, but there are some tweaks I need to make, regional specific, and it'll be released early 2023. Stay tuned. So we're working on the website, and the pre-sale will go out. I just got my headshots done, so y'all can look at my last post and vote on which one you think I should use as the author picture. So yeah, so I'll be taking a trip to New York, and then the Glossy conference, and then I think Incubator is before the New York trip. And then I'm bringing back the well, it's not really bringing back because it didn't leave, but we're gonna do another girl talk. So some of you guys may remember we've done 2 girl talks so far. I decided to do them quarterly, basically a panel of amazing women like myself dialoguing a relatable topic for women. So the very first topic was in March, and it was called Are You a Feminist?, which was pretty heavy. And then the second one was in June, and it was Losing Us in Relationships, another heavy one. And this one is going to be in September, and it is, drum roll please, because I haven't released this information yet, so you guys are the first to hear. But it is I think it's called Friendships. Our Friendships Hard to Find. Our Friendships Hard to Find. That's what it is. Our Good Friends Hard to Find. Our Good Friends Hard to Find. So stay tuned for September, jam-packed with events. But the biggest thing is being on the lookout for my novel debut, you guys. So I have to remind myself that with all the stuff that I do, the novel is the main thing. The writing is the main thing. The novel is the meat. So all of these things are really to create visibility and an audience for the novel. As you know, being an independent artist, that's the hardest part. So you can put out your projects, you can put out your gifts, you can spend years writing and working on this gift, and it goes unseen. So we do not want that for this novel, people. So join with me, subscribe, and I will talk to you next week. Thank you again for your support.